Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm just gonna be getting ready and giving you guys a huge life update. So this video I have been literally holding off on for about 2 months now. Yes, wow, it has been over 2 months that I have been wanting to update you guys, just kind of share what's going on in our life, and I figured I would just do that while I'm getting ready to make it a little bit more interesting. I will leave all of the products that I use in today's video down below in case you guys are curious, and I will put them in order of the order that I use them. So let's jump right in. The first thing I'm gonna talk about is my hair. I did get my hair done. This isn't really part of the update, but I just got my hair done last night. So I'm gonna leave down below what she does to my hair because I always get questions when I first get my hair done, what color she uses, how she does my highlights. I kind of do like a balayage so that I still have some root. I just like the look of that, and then I like it really bright and white towards the ends. I also like it kind of heavier in the front, like my highlights to be a little bit thicker in the front. And I just did a trim this time with some long layers and some face framing. But like I said, I will leave more info on what she does and uses and all of that down below if you guys are curious. But I'm gonna throw my hair up so it's not all up in my grill while I do my makeup. So like I said, I have been wanting to do a life update with you guys, and we had some really big news to share with you guys, and it just recently all fell through this past Friday. So I'm like, you know what? I need to do this. Our big news, our big secret that we had for a month, we didn't even really tell most of our family until 3 or 4 weeks had passed, but we were under contract for a house. We bought a house, and I'll tell you the reason why. Yeah, so we had bought a house. We went under contract at the end of May, I believe, and it was an adorable 4-bedroom. It was an older home, so it had some really cute character. It had a really nice land and a really nice yard and a cute driveway, and the house was just really, really cute. So we also felt like it would be a good rental property later. So we just kind of thought we would live there for a little while instead of renting, because that's what we're doing right now, is renting. And then when we were building and moving out of that house, we were going to rent it and live in our new house. So we just felt like it was a good move. We felt like it was a good rental property and whatnot. But anyway, so we offered $30,000 more than asking price, just because we really wanted to get the house. And in this market, sometimes you have to do that because the market is that insane. So there, we were under contract, everything was good and whatnot, and we started making plans. I had bought some furniture, which I know is a big no-no, but I had bought furniture. What do you want me to say? So so the week that we were supposed to close on the house, the appraisal came back, and the appraisal was not matching up. So essentially we had asked the seller to come down on the price, especially where we had offered, like I said, 30 over asking price. You know, most sellers, if they're motivated to sell, will do what they need to do to accommodate and match up with the appraisal. What had happened was, I guess the owner of the house had moved away with her boyfriend, and they had just recently broken up, and she moved back home and was living in a town over, and was actually hoping that the sale would fall through so she could move back into her house. Guys, we have the worst luck. So of course she wanted nothing to do with coming down on the price, and she was like, hallelujah. I actually just drove by the house this morning because I was dropping Elle off, and her curtains were up, her wreath was on the door. I'm literally 5 days after we were supposed to close on the house. So she is happily moved back in. So anyway, that all fell through, and we actually found that out the day of closing. So what an emotional roller coaster, what a lot, because I'm gonna jump way back and just fill you guys in if you haven't been here forever. Kyle and I sold our house about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. It was in October of 2019. Knox had just turned 1. We decided to sell our house because the market was a good seller's market, and we were gonna make a profit from our home. So we decided to sell our house. We wanted to buy a 2-unit, flip it, rent it out, live in the other half, and kind of get that under our belt and create some income from that, and then build our house. So we went under contract for a 2-unit. We were under contract for months and months and months in different contracts and whatever, literally 3 months or something. We had made all these plans. We had talked to our builder about what we wanted to do to flip it and renovate it and all this, because it definitely it needed a lot of work, but we were willing to put the money and the time in and whatever. So anyway, a million and one things happened to that place. 3 days before we were supposed to officially close on that property, it actually, like, a pipe burst because it was in the winter, and it flooded. Like, it flooded bad, like really bad. It was like $35,000+ in damage potentially. So we talked to the seller because essentially the property hadn't been taken care of. So like that could have been prevented by the owner, and it wasn't. So anyway, we talked to the seller and we're like, hey, like, we need this covered. This was not, you know, part of the deal. We don't want to put another $40,000 in for something that's not our fault. They offered us like $5,000 or something to cover it. I'm like, so we had to back out of that deal as well. So there was that. So then we were like, well, crap, what are we gonna do? Because we sold our house. This was our whole plan. We were already, you know, under contract, so we felt like pretty secure in that plan, and it all fell through. So we were like, okay, moving onwards. Let's look for, you know, a temporary home. We weren't really thinking about renting at this point, much like at all. We were like, let's just get a house and have a house for a couple of years again, and then we can figure out building later on. Again, the market's getting real hot at this point. And so we put an offer in on this house that was tippy top of our budget. Tip top at the time of our budget. So, but it was really like the only one out there that I could even see us like living in and making potentially our forever home. It was on like 12 acres of land. It had, I think, 4 bedrooms. Actually, I think all the bedrooms had cathedral ceilings. Like, it was gorgeous. It had big open concept. It had like a balcony up above, cathedral ceiling, or vaulted cathedral ceiling in the living room. It was just really pretty. It was outdated, so that's why it was like still in our price range. But I had all these ideas for this house. So we offered like a couple $1,000s under asking price, which was still reasonable at the time because the market wasn't like as crazy as it is now. We pretty much offered full price. And we were so excited. There were no other offers on the table. We were like, oh, we're gonna get this house. This house is amazing. We're gonna make it so cute and, you know, fit our family and whatever. And the family considered our offer and then decided they didn't want to sell their house. I was super pregnant and I'm like, okay, what are we gonna do? Like, we need a place to live. I want to start nesting. So that is when we were like, let's just rent. We were so lucky to find the rental that we're in now. It's a split, so there's someone that lives above us, which is the only downfall, but God love them. They don't have kids upstairs, so obviously us with kids, like, we are the louder of the crew. Okay, so then we moved in here. It's a 3-bedroom. So thankful. We have a really nice backyard. Yeah, it's just like literally the perfect rental. Oh, and we have an unfinished basement to store all of our stuff, which was huge because we had originally moved from a house, so we had a lot of stuff. Very thankful for this place. So now, coming on a 1.5 years here, we are ready to move on. And we actually, so this is another huge life update. Found out that Kyle will be deploying next year. So we have a time limit. I don't want to say like exactly when he's deploying. We definitely feel that like heaviness kind of hanging over us, and it's like a ticking clock. It just feels like we don't have all the time in the world, kind of like we felt before. So yeah, Kyle has deployed one other time, but it was before we had kids, so this is going to be a whole nother ball game. I am like, emotionally, I am good. I've got this. Like, I'm a military spouse. I married into that. You know, he joined the military when we were dating in high school. So I've been away from him multiple times for long periods of time, like over 6 months. So I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about, obviously, the kids. And I'm also worried about Kyle, just because like I'm going to have the kids, you know, and he's going to be away from all of us. So it's just a lot, and it is very heavy to kind of, I don't know, it's one of those things where like when you know ahead of time, it's nice to know and be able to prepare, but you also wish like you almost didn't know, because then it's not like hanging over you all the time. But anyway, so obviously our building plans are just kind of very contingent on that. And we don't know what we want to do, and building prices are still crazy, but we are actually now considering, once again, building in the fall. So I cannot tell you how many times we have switched gears in the past well, geez, in the past 2 years, but specifically in the past 6 months, it's just like we just keep switching gears and like it's a lot, but we're having a positive attitude. We're all healthy and safe and it's all good. I feel like it would be really easy to start getting down right now or feel defeated, and we're just putting ourselves out there. So obviously we're going to fail. Our realtor did say, she's like, you guys do have like really rough luck. Like this isn't necessarily normal. So I'm like, well, that makes me feel better that we're not just being negative. We really do just kind of have crappy luck for some reason. With all of that, our original house plans, I had decided were not the best fit for us because it was only a 3-bedroom, and yes, we could build onto the basement. That was our plan, put a bedroom down there, a guest room, and like a smaller like game family room type whatever setup. And then it just like started weighing on me. I think actually having 2 kids and feeling what a 3-bedroom felt like without extra space, like I don't know, it just made me think this house is not that it wasn't big enough, the square footage was good, but we just needed more rooms and a better layout. Now we're back at square one. No idea what I want. Well, I shouldn't say no idea. I have a really good idea of what I want to build. I know what I want my house to kind of look like and feel like, but I can't find an exterior plan and an interior plan that I love. I love old homes. I like things to look old but new again. So I would really like a house that looks very vintage, kind of old farmhouse with like a little bit of that gothic vibe to it, but all like new and fresh. I want cathedral ceilings in multiple rooms of the house. I don't know, it kind of sounds like a lot, but the house that I grew up in had like a vaulted ceiling to the 2nd floor with a banister, and that's just how I grew up. So that just feels like home to me. So that's my #1 biggest thing, is when I love the exterior of a home and then I go and look at the floor plans and it's not there's no like vaulted in the main living and stuff. I'm like, not gonna work. We're not looking to build a ginormous home by any means. We're actually like would love to be at 2,200 square feet, somewhere in there. 2,000 square feet even would be great, with a basement that we could finish later. We really do not want a huge house. So we are going to sit down with our builder very soon. That's the update there. Oh, and like I feel like I don't even need to mention this, but while all of these building plans and buying plans and all that has happened, COVID hit. So that also, just that whole year messed up our building plans and thoughts. But I honestly kind of feel like that was like a blessing in disguise, because I feel like we definitely would have built the house that we had planned for before. Like that house technically was supposed to be done right now. I think I would have loved that house, but I definitely maybe would have thought, I don't know, that I didn't think it out all the way. So now I'm having all the time to think it out all the way, almost to a fault, and I'm like overthinking it. So anyhow, the next update was that Kyle is deploying. So like I said, I've done it before. I am very worried about the kids. I think when you are going through a deployment with your spouse, or even a friend, a family member, I should say, like even if it's a sibling or something like that, and you're really close to them, you're used to having close contact, and it's very important to kind of like have or create a community around you of support, and specifically other military family members, military spouses and families, to just kind of help you get through it, because it's definitely something that you can't understand fully unless you've been through it. I know everyone who has ever said this only has good intentions, but saying it will go by quickly, I can tell you from experience it doesn't. It hasn't for me, I should say, but I would say just stay busy, and that is like everything, just staying busy and focusing on yourself, which you don't always have time to do. So kind of gives you more time to zoom in, focus on you, do things that you love to do, and yeah, surround yourself with your people, and specifically people, if you can, that are going through a similar thing or have gone through a similar thing. Okay, the next update, the big lingering question of when or will we have baby number 3. So Kyle and I have always wanted our kids super close together. Knox and Elle are 22 months apart, which was like perfect. For baby number 3, we thought that we would want them like 2.5 years apart. We thought that that would be perfect, just like a little bit of a bigger gap than what Knox and Elle have, only because it's our third. Don't get me wrong, I love the gap that they have. Now I feel like, so our options are, if I got pregnant right now, Kyle would potentially be home for the birth. Like it would time up, the baby would pretty much be born most likely right about the time he's going to be leaving. So that I don't want to do. And then to get the kids 2.5 years apart, obviously this is like if everything went as planned, which we have been so fortunate that in the past we have not had a single problem getting pregnant. Very, 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 very thankful. Like every single day of my life, I'm so thankful for that, because I cannot imagine struggling with infertility. Like my heart genuinely and truly goes out to every single person that has to experience that. I so badly wish that was not a thing at all. Anyway, if everything went to plan, then we would be trying like early next year, like right after Christmas or something. But if we do that, Kyle will not be here for the birth. So then the other option is to get pregnant right before he leaves, and then I would be pregnant while he's gone, and then the baby would be born like right after he got home. So there's that, and then the other option is to just wait until he gets home to get pregnant, which would mean Elle would be 3.5 years older than our third baby. So we have a lot of thinking to do. I will just say that. Like, sitting in the present moment, I definitely am not feeling like I want to be pregnant or I want to have a baby right now. We are just very career focused right now and focused on our kids and our home. And I think throwing another baby in the mix right now is just not, it's really just not what we want. If it were to happen, it would be totally fine. I have found that with pregnancy and stuff, sometimes it can be one of those things that you're like, not ready, not ready, not ready. Like I'm so not there. And then suddenly you catch the bug and you're just like, I want another baby. So you never know what like the next, you know, months will bring, what the next year will bring, but that's where we're at right now. And this deployment's really messing up our plans, okay? This lip color is so good and it literally lasts all day. It's in the color Seductress. It's the Maybelline, what is this? Super Stay Matte Ink. Really good and super comfortable on your lips too. Okay, and then the last update, which this is very recent and just a very kind of like random and unplanned, but I bought myself a new car. So I'm so excited, and I made an Instagram post about this, but getting a new car, it's like big whoop. And I'm not here to brag or boast whatsoever. Like that's genuinely not my intent. I was actually so nervous when I posted my Instagram post. I've never like posted anything like that before, and I don't like to put like value on things that cost a lot of money, or I don't like to put a lot of focus on that. So anyway, I bought myself a new car, and I feel like it was just such a big deal for me because I'm a full-time stay-at-home mom, and I stopped working full-time a couple years ago. I stepped down from my management position where I was working, and I decided to go full-time at home and pursue YouTube, which was a huge risk, a huge jump. My husband, Kyle, was number one. He is my number one fan. He is my number one fan. And don't get me wrong, there's definitely times that we had sat down together and we were like, at what point do we call it with this? Like, at what point is this no longer worth all of this time and effort that I'm putting in? But truly, he always has just told me to kind of do whatever makes me happy, and he'll support me whether I'm making a penny or $1 million. So I'm very thankful for that. But I stepped down from my full-time position, and like I said, I decided to pursue YouTube. So as a full-time stay-at-home mom, I at no point really thought, I mean, I believed it could happen, but I don't know. I believed and was hopeful that it would happen, but I never really knew or thought that I would be able to really support my family doing what I'm doing, and you know, be able to buy like really nice things for our family. So that car that I bought, which, okay, so let me just tell you what I bought. I bought the Kia Telluride. It's the Sport. I should know like the fancy term. It's like some letters put together. It's practically brand new, which I've never bought a vehicle new. There was a previous owner, but they didn't put many miles on it at all. And it's a 2020, I believe. So yeah, it's definitely the newest, nicest thing I've ever owned. It was just that, like, I don't know, just point in my career that I felt like, wow. Sorry, I'm like getting, oh, wow, why am I getting emotional? I have been so emotional all day. Wow, I really did not expect to get emotional at all in this video. But yeah, it was just like a moment in my career where I was like, wow, I'm like really doing something. I'm really doing it. Like something that I've put like my heart into for so many years. And the fact that it's just paying off is so rewarding, and to be able to buy our family, you know, a really nice, safe vehicle, something that Kyle will not have to worry about while he is, you know, gone on his deployment. It's just very rewarding and humbling and encouraging. I hope that's inspiring to you guys, because like I said, there were so many moments where Kyle and I sat down and we're like, when is it time to throw in the towel? Like, this is a lot of work, and you know, at some point I could be spending my time doing something else that's providing something for our family, because this was not, you know, necessarily doing that for a long time. So with all of that said, I just want to thank you guys for all of your love and support. I want you to know that my biggest goal always on my channel is being real with you guys, being honest with you guys, and always remaining humble and thankful for your support. I truly feel grounded in that, and I'm just so thankful, because I know that my job isn't something that I could just do on my own. I understand I do all the work and everything like that, but without all of you guys to click on my links and watch my videos and support me on Instagram and shop my like to know it, all of that stuff, it just would not be possible without you. So no matter where, you know, this journey takes me, I will never forget where I started, and the reason why I continue to grow is you guys, and I won't forget that. So there's that. I do plan to do a car tour. I don't know if I'll do it on Instagram story or if I'll do it in a vlog on here. I may end up doing both, I'm just not sure. If you are interested in the Telluride, let me tell you right now, sister, obsessed. I am obsessed with it. It's just my absolute favorite third row vehicle like on the market right now. I love that it kind of looks like a Range Rover from the front. That's my like dream car in the far future. That's just kind of like a before I die, I want to drive a Range Rover. I don't care if I'm 90 driving a Range Rover. Like that's what I want. So anyway, I just love that it kind of has that boxy vibe in the front. It's got the third row. It's got like all the bells and whistles. I don't even know how to, honestly, I don't even know how to use most of like what the car offers. I have no idea. I feel very safe in it, very in control. It has like all the safety offerings, so you can put it on the safety settings so that you don't like back into something stupid. It's just an amazing vehicle. So I do highly recommend them if you are on the fence about it at all. Look no longer, look no further. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Just go get yourself one if you can get your hands on one, which is another reason why I bought right now, was because my younger brother works at a car dealership in the area, and he was like, hey, it's white, it's the sport version, it's got the black rim, like it had everything that I wanted. He's like, we're not gonna get another one of these, so it's either yours or someone's coming here for it today. I was like, oh my god, please do not sell it from underneath my feet to like, let me just get there. So yeah, I'm very thankful that he kind of had my back in that, and his friend Sean was actually the one who sold it to me. So yeah, very thankful for them. They totally hooked me up. I do need a name for my car. Do you guys name your vehicles? Because I always have, and for some reason, like normally a name just comes to me with my cars. It just comes to me, and nothing has come to me with her yet. So I do feel like it's a her though. So the last thing that I want to talk about in today's video is not actually an update. It's in collaboration with Cochlear Americas, and I want to thank them for sponsoring this portion of today's video. For those of you guys who are not familiar, they provide hearing implants, and I actually had the pleasure of having a Zoom meeting with one of their representatives and also with a mom from Canada. Her name was Montana, who has a little boy who is profoundly deaf, and their story is amazing. So I'm going to share that with you guys, but let me just put this somewhere where it's not going to burn our apartment down. Hang on. So yeah, I got to sit down and talk with Montana about her son, and they actually didn't know at birth that he was deaf. So the hospital in Canada that she gave birth in, they actually didn't test the babies for hearing unless there was a reason to think that they may have hearing loss. And Montana and her husband have like no history of hearing loss or deafness in their family. So the doctors didn't check their little boy. They also have a little girl, by the way. They're like the cutest family ever. Actually didn't realize that their son was deaf until he was about 13 months old. And it was, I guess a family member had kind of mentioned it, and they were like, no, like of course not. Why, you know, why would he be deaf? He didn't have the best balance or like head control and stuff like that, which is just very fascinating to me, because that definitely wouldn't be my first thought if my child was having trouble with those things. My first thought wouldn't be that they may have hearing loss or might be deaf. When they went and had him tested and everything, he is profoundly deaf. So that is when they started looking into different options and all of that, and when they discovered cochlear implants. So cochlear implants are an implant. Part of it is internal and part of it is external. So that is what they decided to do with their son. She said the surgery was like 4 hours or so long, and that he was almost back to himself like immediately. She said within 2 to 4 days he was like ready to go, which I just thought was amazing. I mean, kids are so resilient, so it doesn't surprise me, but at the same time I just felt like that would be really comforting to know and to hear from another mom if you are, you know, going forward with a cochlear implant with your own child. So while we were having this Zoom meeting, I do remember the Cochlear Americas representative talking about, you know, the earlier that you can catch these signs or have them tested for hearing loss, the better. That way you can really get on top of it and your child is less likely to fall behind. Montana was talking about how her son now has really started to kind of like catch up, and he's had time. I believe he's 5 years old now. So he's, you know, saying full sentences and things like that, which is just huge. Just really wanted to share some information on that. It's not something that directly affects me, but it very well could in the future. And I just felt like with this platform, if there was just one person that might see this video and it might help or comfort in any way, shape, or form, that it would be worth it to me to collaborate with them. So I hope you guys found this helpful. I'm going to leave a ton of information and a link for you guys down below if you want any more info on cochlear implants. And thank you again to Cochlear Americas for sponsoring this part of the video. And I also want to thank Montana, if you are watching. Thank you for spending the time to share your story with me. I hope I represented you guys well. And thank you guys all for watching. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.